My name is Riley Browder, and today I will be administering the COPM to Rachel, who has Tourette's. Tourette's is a neurological disorder characterized by involuntary tics and vocalizations, and often the compulsive utterance of obscenities. Oftentimes, these patients have uncontrollable outbursts or tics. I chose to evaluate Rachel using the COPM because Tourette's syndrome has a significant effect on occupations, especially those involving socialization. The COPM is a client-centered evaluation that is an individualized measure designed to detect change in a client's perception of occupational performance over time. This evaluation will be used to establish intervention goals based on the client's perceived needs. As of December 2013, there have been 7 reliability studies published on the COPM. Internal consistency reliability has been shown to be within a reasonable range. Test-retest reliability has consistently been found well above the acceptable range. Numerous types of validity have been evaluated for the COPM in various settings and various populations: content, criterion, convergent, divergent, and construct. 16 articles were located that examined the validity of the COPM. These studies consistently supported that the validity of the COPM as a measure of occupational performance. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Rachel. So this is Rachel, and she has Tourette's, and we are going to be evaluating her today using the COPM. So the first 5 steps to be completed in the COPM are identify occupational performance problems, and then 2 is once specific occupational performance problems have been identified, the client is asked to rate each one in terms of importance in his or her life. Importance is rated on a 10-point scale. 1, not important at all, and 10, extremely important. So 3 is ask the client to choose up to 5 problems that seem most pressing or important using the ratings just done. 4, rate performance. How would you rate the way you do this activity now? And satisfaction. How satisfied are you with the way you do the activity now? And then you establish a date for reassessment later. So the first section that we are going to start with, Rachel, is self-care. So are there any problems that you see in self-care, maybe like in your personalized care, in your functional mobility, or your community management?
I have problems driving because of the tics that I have, and my impulsiveness.
Okay, and so that just causes you sometimes to like maybe go off the road, or like it's not as safe. So have you ever tried like a bus or?
Well, I don't like try the bus because I feel like everyone's staring at me.
Oh, okay.
Because of my tics.
So how important would you say transportation is for you in this issue?
I would say an 8. It's really important to me.
Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and move on to the productivity measure. And so this involves paid or unpaid work, household management, school and play. So are there any areas that concern you here?
I'd say paid work. It's hard to hold a job when I have to interact with people.
Yeah, so it's kind of awkward for you sometimes because maybe not everyone knows you have Tourette's.
I feel like they're judging me whenever I have my tics.
So maybe you could hold a job that you don't have to socially interact, like maybe in the back or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So how important is that to you since you have like some other options?
I would say a 7.
Okay.
It's really important to me.
I'll write that down. What about school or play?
I didn't go to college, but I wanted to.
Okay. And why didn't you go?
I was just kind of concerned about being in the class and having people look at me and being uncomfortable when I have my outbursts.
Okay. And how important was that to you? How important was that to you?
9.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and move on to the leisure section, okay? So this involves like quiet recreation, active recreation, socialization. So are there any concerns in that area that you would have?
I would say socialization. It's hard for me to form relationships that are meaningful with people.
Okay, and how would you rate that on importance?
9. That's really, really important to me.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so now we're going to go to the back. We've picked a lot of the occupations that seem the most important, that you've rated the most important, okay? So I'm just going to list them here. So the first one is college. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm just going to have you rate your performance. So 1, not able to do it at all, and then 10, able to do it extremely well. And then right after that, I am going to have you rate satisfaction. 1 being not satisfied at all with your performance, and 10 being extremely satisfied with your importance. So the first one that we are going to address is college, because you rated that at a 9, so I felt like that was really important to you. So what about your performance? Like, how do you think you would like perform at, like, are you prepared for that?
I'd say a 2.
A 2? Okay. And how satisfied are you with your performance?
A 1.
A 1, okay. Gotcha. All right. What about transportation? You mentioned transportation and you rated that at an importance of an 8. And so I was just going to go ahead and see how you feel on that. So as far as your performance in transportation, whether it be driving yourself or taking the bus, you're knowing your way to get around and how to take the bus and that kind of stuff.
I'd say a 3.
A 3, okay. And how satisfied with you on getting around in that transportation?
A 1.
A 1, okay. And then what about friendships? You said you had a lot of problems, forming those meaningful relationships. And you rated that at a 9, really high. You said that was really important to you. So as far as your performance in that area, how would you rate that? A 1 being not able to do it all, and a 10 being able to do it extremely well.
I'd say maybe a 3 again.
A 3, okay. And what about your satisfaction? 1 being not satisfied at all, and 10 being extremely satisfied.
I'd say a 2.
A 2. Okay. And so then what I would do after this is I would add up the performance measures, and then I would divide them and get an average for her total performance satisfaction, or her total performance, and then I would do the same for the satisfaction category, and I would add those up, and we would then develop a plan for intervention, and later on, after we had worked together for a while, we would do this assessment again and see if her performance and overall satisfaction, if those areas went up. Thank you for listening, and that's it.